I got a logic analyzer. It's gonna analyze our logic, and it doesn't fit on my desk, so we're on a pinball machine today. Look at this thing. It's got a floppy drive in here. It's got things. If we take the keyboard out, I take the keyboard out. If we take the keyboard out, okay. If we put the plastic back on, it's got more things. The keyboard uses a big headphone jack. On the back, there's even more things. It weighs 23 kilos, so I couldn't put it straight on the glass. And it was made in 1985, I think. This thing is a Rohde and Schwarz Logic Analysis System LAS 344.4010.02. Wow, that's a nice name. Now, normally when I get weird devices like this, I can find information online. This guy must have been obsolete and forgotten before the internet came about, because I've found one result from Google and it was just somebody selling some manuals in German. That's not very helpful to me, and I don't know how to use this thing, but we should be able to figure it out because it came with 21 kilograms of documentation spanning 17 folders. And hopefully this is all the floppy disks I'm ever going to need, because I'm not going to find any more, I don't think. Although if you have some, please tell me. But before we go any further, I guess I should probably tell you what it's for. This is a pretty serious piece of diagnostics equipment for digital logic devices. I'm hoping to be using it to diagnose arcade board problems. This one's the game board out of a Mutant Night arcade machine, and I'm hoping we can poke this at it for a bit of fun. To do that, we've got another 5 kilos worth of stuff, a whole bunch of cables and adapters. Each CPU you want to look at has a separate adapter box like this with a whole bunch of cables coming out. We're going to play with the Z80 one today because that's what that arcade board uses, and probably actually the only one that I got that I'm ever going to use. I really would have liked an 8080 one. If you've got one of those adapters, give us a shout, I'm keen. There are also generic adapters for just connecting up to data lines and stuff. I've got enough of those to connect up to 48 inputs at the same time. Ooh, I got a probe expander. I got some little certified digital mini cassettes. They are in a box with a part number on them, but I'm not sure if they're supposed to be with this. There's really nothing that they connect into, so I'm not really sure. I still haven't looked at any manuals. I want to see how far I get first. I mean, obviously this is going to plug in where the label matches it. These look like they match. Do they fit in there? Ooh, I reckon that's gonna be them. That's A, B, C, D. Is this what fits in here? No. Okay, got something plugged in there. Maybe I should consult the manual. Thankfully, the Z80 probe manual is a little bit thinner than some of the others. Connecting the microprocessor probe to the LAS, page 6. A total of 5 flat ribbon cables is used to connect the microprocessor probe to the LAS. Make sure that the pin marked 1 on the chip corresponds with the pin marked on the 1 and the 1. The problem I think I might have here is that I don't have any cables that are labeled Z80. These are definitely not the right cables. I feel like someone has just found something similar that works. They've blocked out some of the pins here, so you can't connect these connectors to the wrong places unless you turn the whole adapter upside down, and then you can. So I'm gonna plug it in how I think it's supposed to be and then measure it. If I got it right, I should hear a beep. Oh, I got it wrong. No, I didn't. It just needed the plug wiggled. And we're ready to test the Z80, except for we haven't set up the Z80. Now I should just be able to clip this over the top of the Z80 CPU. This board actually has 2 Z80s, one's for the audio and one's for everything else. So we're just gonna go with the everything else one and see what happens. It says the disassembler program can be loaded in accordance with section 3.7.3 of the LAS operating manual. And I've got 2 books called Operating Manual. We've got Loading the Operating System. It's not what the designation said up here, and I don't know if the operating system is what we're supposed to be loading. If we go to there's no 3.7.3, but 3.7 is sine function and cosine function. I do have storing and loading of programs in page 4.1, but it doesn't tell you how to do it. It just tells you if it's not write protected, you can override it by accident. I do have loading of programs in 4.4, which shows you the syntax for the load command, but it's not telling me how to actually get to that point. What's more, the example over here says load test.bas, which is a basic program, but the disassembler program is z80.sda, which is not a basic program. I don't know what SDA is. What about this manual? It's the only other one that I've got which says anything about operating manual on the spine, and I've only got volume 1, so hopefully 3.7.3 doesn't mean volume 3. 3.7, selection of display, I mean, maybe. And of course, 3.7 is on page 3.16, not page 3.7. Well, here's 3.7. Press key display and then choose the one you want. That is not loading a program. I hate it when manuals do this. They say, refer to section blah 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 of the other thing that you're supposed to have. Maybe I don't have it. Maybe they should use some more information. Let's just turn the thing on, shall we, and see if we can stuff around until something happens. There's a load CPM86 button here, and I've got a CPM86 disk here. CPM86 is an operating system, much like DOS. This thing has an 8088 processor in it, which is kind of like the first x86 processor, but in 8-bit flavor. So I guess we'll load CPM86, and then we'll have an operating system, and that's it. That's what an operating system looked like in the 80s. Now, if I pull this disk out, put the Z80 disassembler disk in, Google some commands, try this one. Oh, okay, so that's just got one thing on it. Pip is just a CPM file copying program, so I think that disk is not working very well. Thankfully, someone thought to back up these disks at some point, so we'll stick this one in and see what that does instead. That's a lot better. And there we have Z80 SDA. That's what we want to try and run. Z8. For some reason, left is backspace, not delete. Delete is not anything. And this keyboard is a bit strange. Sometimes it doesn't work until you hold it down a little bit. It's like the repeat function works, but not just pressing it in the first place, except for sometimes. I don't know, something's up with the keyboard. I'm just gonna persist. Enter. Yeah, I don't know either. I wish they'd just put them how to load in the manual for the add-on. Whoa, these books have been sitting for a while. Yeah. Oh look, we've got system specs. Maybe someone out there can tell me what I can do with these specs. It's an 8088 CPU, 256 kilobytes of RAM, CPM86 operating system with BASIC and ASM86 programming languages. It supports 80 characters per line on the screen and may or may not display 225 by 640 resolution. I'm not sure if that's only for the video output kit, which I don't think I've got. It doesn't say what speed the CPU runs at, but I'm gonna look it up and put it on the screen for you. Whoa, look out, it's got a single-sided floppy disk drive which supports a 234 kilobyte disk when it's formatted. Isn't that amazing? 234 kilobyte capacity on this guy. These are first-gen 3.5-inch floppies, although after they made the cover automatic. The supplied CPM86 manuals provide detailed information on the operating system. I don't have those. I thought 21 kilos of manuals was going to be all of them, but it seems that I am severely lacking in manuals. Types of files does not contain SDA. Ooh, I found a thing. I'm looking in the manual for a different microprocessor probe adapter, and it actually tells you how to load the one for this CPU, so maybe it's the same. Load CPM, menu, call. All right. Mem? What's the mem button? Oh, memory? I'm getting somewhere. And now we put in the Z80 disassembler. We put that in. Then we press load disass, and then you put in the name, which is Z80, isn't it? Z80 return. And hopefully, did that work? I don't know. What if I just type something? Will it give me an... Yes, so it did load Z80. Okay, because otherwise it would give me an error. Okay, that looks like the screen I've got. It doesn't say anything about this screen. 20 megahertz analyzer? State display. Maybe I'll turn the game on now and see if it does a thing. All right, well, the game's running. It's gonna be flickering because this screen runs at a different frequency to that screen, so I can't make the camera work on both of them at the same time. Ooh, disassemble Z80? Come on, I wanna see some stuff happen on the screen. That's all I want. I don't even have to understand it. I just wanna see that it's looking at this CPU doing some things. Start. Can you just go? Is that a thing? Did I see a thing? Is a thing seen? Oh, I can scroll. This scroll wheel's fun. So I think I'm looking at some executed programness that happened, maybe. Ah, wow. It waited for me to turn the game on and then it recorded the first 500 somethings of the CPU states. Disasked Z80. Ah, it's showing what the CPU is doing and I don't understand what the CPU is doing. This is some really deep debugging you can do on some of this stuff that I don't understand. I'm looking for a different option, I think. I want this display. I want to be able to see what each pin on the CPU is doing. Timing display. Here we go. Sadly, I don't think it's come up with the pin labels. Range 01 and 02, 03 is not really anything. Z80.SRM. It's a lot of work using this system. I'll bet modern ones are just a touchscreen. You're like bang, 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 and then you're in. This is in depth. Well, even without having the signal names, I can still use this for diagnostics. I just got to figure out what each line is doing. I was kind of hoping this would work like a live oscilloscope sort of readout. I guess it isn't. It'll be kind of time consuming, but I can make my own labels. I just have to figure out what each line is connected to and then write it in. If I ever need to do some proper diagnostics, maybe I'll do that. This is more of a proof of concept that it can work. It can record a sample of what's going on with the CPU. You can look back at it. You can use the disassembler to see what it's actually doing. And it does have CPM and basic. So there is the possibility for running something else on it. This disk says test 01. I'm not sure what that is. I do want to see what's on here. Oh, I think it's just CPM again. Load CPM. Disk error. Well, it didn't load CPM, so I guess the test failed. I do eventually want to try and run some more things on this, whether it be something useful or just something for fun, but I don't have any other single-sided floppy disks. This did come with some blank double density disks. I am not sure if this will be able to format them, but we're about to find out. Is that what you really want? Yeah, it's what I really want. I guess now we just wait for a really long time, except for it'll just be me waiting a really long time because I'll skip to the end. It didn't tell me whether it worked or not. I guess we're just gonna quit out and see. No file. At least that doesn't mean no disk. I want to try and copy something to it, but obviously I've only got one drive, so I'm gonna use this VFlop, which is a virtual floppy drive. It's doing a lot of warning about killing my reference memory and stuff, but the batteries in this thing are gone toast anyway, so this always loses all of its data when it gets turned off. Now I'm gonna try copy disk, with A being the source, GG being the destination. Source and destination disks must be the same type. Copy aborted. Ugh. Well, I don't know what type of disk this is. Maybe I've got the wrong virtual floppy. Stat is supposed to be able to tell me, not STAD, should be able to tell me some of this stuff. Is that it? Whether it's got read and write permissions and how much free space it is. I want to know the total space. I had planned to copy the floppy to the virtual floppy disk and then copy the virtual floppy disk back to the blank disk. Then I would have another copy of this disk and it would confirm that those blank disks work in this machine, but I don't know, I give up, it's too hard. And that's not even just because I'm trying to do this on a logic analyzer, it's because that's what computing was like in 1985. I'm out of my league here. Anyone out there know how to use CPM? What should I try and run on here? It's an 8088, there's gotta be something fun we can do with it. Or even if you know how to use this machine and you're willing to help me, please reach out, because I don't know. And I reckon we're done. That's the Rohde and Schwarz Logic Analysis System LAS 344.4010.02. And if you want early ad-free access to my videos, you can join me on Floatplane for $2.50 a month, and you'll also get a photo of every single video game thing that I get. Or if you just want the photos and to be a part of my community, you can join for $1 a month. The link's in the description. I'll see you there.